All right. Let's get into it.
I've already been here before. Let me through this bitch. One thing I know for sure. My folks been waiting on me at the door. There ain't no defeat, no retreat. I'm knocking them off one by one. Then line the bodies up really. I'm down there at my feet. These reps no longer speak. I wake, I make, I meditate, rejuvenate. What I work, I make, I manifest. Y'all. The time is now near. It will not live in fear. Keep your life in gear. Look to the them who have an ear. Let them hear. The problem, they didn't expect you to vibe up. They don't watch you too hard, seeing through the eyes of a rival. You've been given a vision, no longer living on survival. All light beings awake, arise, prepare for the arrival. Keep your heart chakra full, eat real food and rise up. Meditate frequently, tune into the frequency.
All right. Peace and bliss, tribe. Today, I want to discuss the sacred secretion. I did a brief live earlier demonstrating the power of the brain by demonstrating using the force, whatever you want to call it. If I say telekinesis, people gonna lose their mind. So I just say the force, so it still sounds, I guess, mystical and fantasy-like. Maybe to help people's brain realize what's going on. But I want to discuss the brain because we know that what they say we only use 10% of our brain. I'm not sure that number has changed, but I've always heard 10%. So that is not a lot of 100% at all. That is a small amount compared to the 90% that's been untapped. And I want to discuss the sacred secretion and discuss your corpus callosum. Let's go over what the corpus callosum is briefly. See here. There we go. That's the one we want. The corpus callosum is a thick bundle of nerve fibers that connects the brain's left and right hemispheres, allowing them to communicate and coordinate functions. It's deep in the brain's white matter. The function transfers sensory, motor, and cognitive information between hemispheres. It's made up of around 200 million nerve fibers. So that's a lot of nerve fibers. That's a lot going on. And it's very deep in the brain for some reason. So it must be very important. Deep in the brain's white matter. And it transfers information between both hemispheres. The function of the colostrum remains relatively unknown. A lot of the important things are always unknown. It's interesting how that is. They figure out everything else. They study everything else, but they either they try to put effort into the unknown, and they fail, or they know about the unknown and it's so great that they hide it from us. And it's usually the latter. That's that. The colostrum is set to take on the appearance of a leaf with two segments. It's interesting that how we are so connected with nature. And I also heard a man say on YouTube named Remedy H. He said that we come from trees, that we used to be trees, or we have tree DNA. Somebody said like that. Well, the colostrum can be identified in both the horizontal and coronal sections of the brain. Within a horizontal section, the colostrum appears to be a linear structure which spans the length of the insular cortex. A coronal section highlights the curves of the colostrum, and that curve is what got me interested in this subject. Besides the video I'm gonna show y'all in a few minutes with Rod Hayes, but that's the pineal gland there. There it is. Running with the contour of the brain. This is I believe, the horizontal section. With this gray part here, that's the corpus callosum. Let's see that coronal section. It looks like a leaf. There we go. This is the actual brain, by the way. But this section here is the corpus callosum, extending into both hemispheres, left and right, or right and left. There it is, the body of the corpus callosum. But it extends, like I say, so it must be important to be buried deep in the brain and to have them many nerve fibers going to it. It must be very important. Controlling something, sending information, because all the nerves run to it. All those 200 million nerve fibers run to this thin piece here. And I'm gonna let y'all listen to what Rod Hayes said. He was on a show over a year ago on this man's show discussing. Hey, baby. Hold on one second, y'all. Hey. You're supposed to be sleeping. Let me play the video real fast. But he was discussing the sacred secretion.
My chief said we brain banging, we ain't gang banging. So welcome to Brain Bang University, motherfuckers. I'm the motherfucking dean of the university, and I'm gonna brain bang your ass into submission. I'm gonna let that sink in while I light my blunt.
Smoke something, bitch.
Who wants to start at this first off the top before I get in it?
So if you notice that this word colostrum is similar to the first suckle of the baby from the mother's teat called the colostrum.
The colostrum, yes. Teach, holy shit, yes. Okay.
Right now, the reason why a lot of us is having problems with the children because the pair binding is broken at the colostrum feeding to the newborn baby. The cycle is supposed to be the baby is born, you clear the mouth, you put them on the teeth, drink the colostrum. The colostrum, when it goes through the baby's system, sends a hormone through the baby's body, which also is infusing it with genetic memory, biological self-defense that we call antibiotics. It's giving them an immune system. And it's also telling them the program of the mother so that he can understand his own program. All this is the first information fed to the child externally after birth from the mother. Now, once the chemicals in the baby's body is hormonally released, they feed the information back through the umbilical cord, and this colostrum represents the spinal cord, right? Because this colostrum travels up the spinal cord to the brain, right? So in the uterus, being a portal, is sending a signal from the child into the walls of the mother's vagina through the placenta, right? And once this happens, then it sends the mother's brain, just like this colostrum right here is sending this secretion to the brain. This sends the same response to the mother's brain to facilitate actual parental pair bonding with mother and child that's been deprived through clipping the umbilical cord and slapping them on the ass.
Facts, 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 bro. You blew my mind with that colostrum, because that is the most important part of the milk itself.
Yeah, called the reticular formation.
Mm-hmm.
It's here that your consciousness enters the body. It's also known as the black dot because it's heavily concentrated with melanin. And it's also referred to as the black mirror. Well, you can't see through the black mirror unless you have the gold elixir, the black and the gold, Big Mama colors. The
Right.
gold elixir rushes over the nerve ganglia and it flips on the pineal gland, which is a light bulb on the inner side of the brain in the upper right hemisphere, where it absorbs the information coming in from Big Mama on something called an anterior gyrus. It's right here on your head. So that's called the opening of the crown chakra,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's giving you now, it went from giving you astro geology to giving you biology to giving you metaphysics, and now it's giving you the return of it all, what they call a resurrection. When the sacred elixir fills the four chambers of the brain left and right hemisphere have to be in sync because of the density of the gold liquid. It's called the sacred secretion.
All right. Let's take a closer look. Raising the Chrism, Santa Claus, Joseph, Mary, and the Crucifixion. All right. The pineal gland, Joseph, secretes the milk. The pituitary, Mary, secretes the honey. Both from the same source. The colostrum, Santa Claus. All right. 2. The two sacred oils travel down into the solar plexus via the semilunar ganglion, pneumogastric nerve. The psychophysical germ, the fruit of the tree of life, is born in the solar plexus, the manger. The psychophysical germ. That's interesting. Name for it. A germ. Right here in the solar plexus. The ida, red, pingala, blue. The two nerve fluids where the crossing of the medulla oblongata, the crucifixion, takes place, where it rests for 2.5 days. Those 2.5 days are important. But this body is so intricate. Now, people refer to it as a meat suit, but it's so much more than that. I used to say it was a meat suit as well, but this avatar is much more than that. Nothing that we've been given, nothing that goes on Earth, and I'll say again, nothing we've been given, it has been given to us for no reason. Just to be given to us, it has to be something greater and deeper, a deeper meaning to it. Like I was watching Percy Jackson in the Olympians when the dude gave him a simple pen and told him to protect it because it's a powerful weapon, and they had a double meaning, as you know, the pen, the mighty pen, and also that weapon was actual sword. It turned into a sword. So nothing that we're given is not what it seems. It's something deeper, and the way to unlock this is to raise the chrism, the Christos, the oil, that anointing oil, the milk and honey, the land of milk and honey. You are the land of milk and honey. And I was mentioning that curve earlier, if y'all remember the contour of the corpus callosum because of this. Let me show the video. The clip. Look at that. This is a tractography of the brain, which is just an MRI of the brain. Let me see. It's a MR diffusion tractography is a method for identifying white matter pathways in the living human brain. These pathways form the substrate for information transfer between remote brain regions and are therefore central to our understanding of function in both the normal and diseased brain. Between remote brain regions, white matter pathways. That's the quantum. It transfers information between remote brain regions, and the quantum entanglement. In you can be entangled with something that's on the other side of the galaxy, and so that's the theory. It seems so impossible, huh? It seems so intricate, just like our bodies. But we see how deep the corpus callosum is buried in our brain and how many nerve fibers run to it. And then we have the white matter pathways here. I demonstrated again. The white matter pathways here is what this chartography is measuring, is showing. And those pathways form the information transfer between remote brain regions. That's the quantum highway. Look at that. It's a snake, y'all. That's what caught my eye. The contour of the corpus callosum on the horizontal view of the brain looks like a snake. And we know the snake is wisdom. It represents wisdom, but the snake has been the bad guy since Adam and Eve. The story of Adam and Eve. So that made me question: was Eve really talking to a snake, or did Eve receive her Christos? And did she receive enlightenment? Did her Kundalini rise? I asked Chat GPT some questions. Let's see. Oh, go all the way back up. Okay, I was wondering if the Bible even mentioned specifically wasn't an apple that Eve ate, but nope, it just said fruit. Even though the Bible is metaphorical, if you're gonna go there and play along with the Bible, it's metaphorical. So the association of the forbidden fruit likely comes from later interpretations and artistic depictions. The Latin word malum can mean both apple and evil, which may have influenced association in Western tradition. So it's a mistranslation of one word, and it can change the whole aspect of every damn thing. It's crazy. So, but they later came from interpretations and artistic depictions. Like they used painters and from the popular painters from certain eras. They keep those paintings and shit popular because that's how they keep their lie going. That's how they keep the cover up going. Look what was going on back then. Look what this famous painter painted. This is what was happening. Because the association of forbidden fruit in the story of Adam and Eve eating the apple came from later, way later. So it's not even based in anything that was given at the time when the shit actually happened. It came later about artist depiction, somebody's imagination. Then you move on. He told them they're free to eat from any tree in the garden, but if they eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, they will certainly die. But the servant told them, you're not gonna die. Well, we know that Jesus said that to die is gain. And we know that when we go through our awakening, our spiritual awakening, we go through an ego death. So we have to tame. Ego's not completely dead. Nothing is died. Nothing dies. The ego transformed to another something else. So the wisdom was letting Eve know that she was not going to die if she ate from the tree of knowledge. She was going to be reborn. Because what happened, as soon as she ate from the tree of knowledge, as soon as she got wisdom, she went and told her husband. She went and told Adam. And I asked the question, hypothetically, if Eve eating the fruit was only symbolic, what would be the symbolism using the serpent to depict Satan or whomever offered Eve the fruit? Because I didn't want to assume that what the ChatGPT believed in. All right. The serpent's role in history in the story of Eve eating the fruit is rich with symbolic meaning, whether the event is interpreted literally or metaphorically. If the entire account is symbolic, the serpent in the act of offering the fruit will represent deeper theological and philosophical ideas about temptation, free will, and the nature of evil. Here are some possible interpretations of symbolism. Temptation and deception, symbol of rebellion, the fruit as a symbol of knowledge and awareness, the serpent as an archetype of duality, which is very important because it seemed like the God of that garden didn't want them to have any knowledge. He wanted them, he or she, just wanted them just to know a limited amount of things so they can be controlled easily. Because once Eve found out wisdom hit her, because she was by a tree first of all when she ate the apple, and that sounds a lot like Newton, Sir Isaac Newton, when he was sitting under the tree and the apple fell on his head, and he had his epiphany about gravity. So maybe Eve was out there hugging a tree, chilling. Because I've had some good revelations, some good times sitting next to a tree myself. So Eve sitting next to the tree, and something came to her. She wanted to put some clothes on. She wanted to better herself, I guess. She wanted to do something different, I guess. And she got her husband to go along with her. So the entity was mad. And the first thing the entity said, "Who told you was naked?" He want to know why the fuck y'all wearing leaves for. Oh, hell, they know what the hell going on. Y'all got to get up out of here. Because well, there were other people in their garden, maybe. They were going to influence everybody else, possibly. It's a lot. 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 Who else was in that garden? And why they had to leave all of a sudden? Just get their shit and go, and they couldn't come the fuck back. He blocked the entrance off with 2 flaming swords. So now the Garden of Eden is supposed to be some mythical. I don't know. It's just I was going off. All right, back to the snake. The serpent is a catalyst for free will, which is something that a God, an entity who wants to dominate you, does not want you to have any free will. The serpent is a challenge to trust in God. I mean, I guess the entity of their garden only wanted Adam and Eve them to trust in him or her. Nobody else's information. Just trust me. Not even yourself. Any entity or whatever, any person or whatever who doesn't want you to think for yourself or do for yourself, they want to control you. They don't want you to gain no knowledge. They don't want to get you to gain no awakening. They don't want you to ascend. They want you to stay right where they want you at and do right what the fuck they want you to do. Because the moment you start thinking for yourself, that means you start having new ideas. Your brain start doing this. The white matter pathways start connecting and start sending information. The synapses start synapses and then and don't let it be time for those 2.5 days. Talk about those 2.5 days. Hey, baby. This is interesting here. Let me share this. No, not ChatGPT. Pardon me. There we go. Just want to take a look at this, and I'll just, like I say, the symbolism in our bodies, and it's not just a coincidence that we've been given, and that our bodies, that our anatomy and physiology is the way that it is. The way everything complements everything is fascinating. The caduceus symbol symbolizing the Kundalini rising. Because from the 2.5 days, when the oil is sitting there, that's when it's most important. Let's see how to retain your semen fluids, alkaline diet, no eating, drink anything acidic, no alcohol, a constant high vibration, Kundalini meditation, balance all chakras, keeping your tongue to the top of your mouth, and proper breathing. They got a little verse here. It look hard to read. It say, may my Psalms 137:6. May my tongue cling to the roof of my mouth if I cannot remember you. If I cannot consider Jerusalem my highest joy. The Santa Claus comes from the word claustrum, which is in the brain and produces the present, the all. Standing with the present travels down the spine and then back up, symbolizing the process of the all. Here they have a skeleton next to Jerusalem. It has the River Jordan as the spinal cord, the Dead Sea as the sacrum. It's interesting. Said the cerebrospinal system is an extension of the brain. And here it has the brain as the Garden of Eden, which is where Adam and Eve got kicked out of. This is my first time going over this particular slide, y'all. But like I said, if they was in the Garden of Eden, there wasn't an actual snake that came to her. It was she got her that claustrum. That was the snake. Jesus, the oil, is in Nazareth, the head. Joseph and Mary, the pineal and pituitary gland. And King Herod wants to kill him. Jesus, the oil, goes down the river, Jordan, the spine, to Bethlehem, next to the Dead Sea, sacrum bone. Joseph and Mary, the pineal and pituitary gland, are waiting for Jesus, the oil, to return. The process of the oil coming down from the head is symbolizing Jesus coming down from heaven into physical form. Jesus dying for 3 days, then being resurrected to be crucified at 33 is all a metaphorical story about the Christ oil process within the body, which activates the God consciousness. This is wonderful. 33 vertebrae in the spine. I love it. Grace, faith, forgiveness, enjoyment, wisdom, peace, alignment, manifestation, creation, knowledge, clarity, abundance, mastery, Kundalini, freedom, harmony, similarities, polarities, yang, yin, connection, transmutation, soul, time, divinity, vision, expression, love, discrimination, feeling, awareness, groundedness. This is amazing. Our body, we are wonderfully made. We are truly wonderfully made, you guys. Wow. I love this. I love it. I'm just in awe right now because like I said, that's my first time reading this slide really, and it's amazing. So they I get you know how I read somewhere that the alchemists they had to put their teachings in when they exchange information. They have to put it in like jibber jabber, make it seem like it's crazy nonsense, so that the powers that be wouldn't destroy it or be on to what they had going on. So a lot of their teachings, a lot of their books and texts probably don't make no damn sense to nobody else except if you were a part of their, you were down with what was going on, unless you were an alchemist. And same thing I feel with that Bible that we know has been tampered with, and they know we know that, and because they know that we know that, they using it to fuck with us. Because we know that they mess with it, we like, nah, it ain't real. But that's the trick. They want us to think that it's not, and it's been fucked with for sure. But like I just said about the alchemists, they had to have some shit in there. You got to go in there and get the codes out your own damn self and decipher for yourself. You can't go to church and have them telling you shit about something that's going on inside of you. You see, this story is not even a real story about real people. It's all about you. You are the Christ. You are Jesus Christ. You are the Christ is a title. Christ means messenger. You are the messenger. It's you. There's no one coming out of the sky to save you. It's you. When you pray, who talking back to you? Whose voice do you hear? You hear your own self talking to you. There's no outside person gonna come tell you anything about nothing. Let's see what we got going. Activating that God consciousness, that Christ consciousness. The sacred secretion. Yeah, it is amazing. When Christ aura reaches the optic thalamus, you will have vision. You will know what your purpose is. You will know what matters, and you will feel incredible. That's why they want you going to church, because they want you distracted from doing this all the time. Because you only get your sacred. First of all, you get it when your sun sign, when the moon is when a full moon is in your sun sign. I'm in Aries, sun. So when there is a full moon in Aries for those 2.5 days, that's when I'm receiving my magic. That's when I'm supposed to receive my Christos, my oil. Because after I did this, I'm lucky. I'm glad I caught it because it was in October, and the full moon just so happened about to be in Aries. So I said, let me try this. So after I tried this, and then after I did this, and in conjunction with what I was already doing, the lifestyles I already living, I did get vision, know what my purpose is. I know what matters, and I do feel incredible. And I feel like I have divine favor beyond measure. Man. So let me stop sharing the screen. Let me show y'all the full moon calendar. Go to astroseek.com or just type in full moon calendar, astroseek. That's the first step. You can do more research your own self, of course. As you should. I heard somebody say on TikTok, the girl said stranger danger. And she right. You don't know me. I'm on the internet talking to you and telling you some shit. I could be a crazy person. Her name was I Am Isis, by the way. That's her name. She lit too with the numbers, y'all. But this the full moon chart. And make sure you go change the date to 2025 full moon. And I did Aries. See, these my October 7th of 2025 of this year is my next time to get it again. So imagine if I keep doing this every year, getting better and better, getting more clarity, getting more favor, getting more all. Oh, I'm gonna be fucking flying. That's what they don't want. Let me put any so y'all can see. It is basically gonna be only once a year you can do this. So it's important. The next full moon is going to be in Cancer, January 13th. So if you are a Cancer sun, the full moon is going to be in your sun sign. So this is your time. And then next is going to be Leo in February. If you're a Leo sun, bam. So that's why I have to do this message so whoever see this can see that you still have time to prepare. Do some fasting before the full moon, when those 2.5 days happening, you still gonna do your fasting and your whatever, your meditation and stuff, whatever you feel called to do, because it's your body. Listen to it. I read this book and share this book. There it is. The Science of the Sacred Secretion song. If y'all want to check that out or check out some other book, this the one that I read. It opened up my eyes to it, and I did some research because there was things in there I didn't know what she was talking about, and I was like, well, let me look these up. So one of those things I looked up was biorhythms, because the main thing is to know thyself, to know who you are, so no one can tell you shit about you. Because for a long time, I didn't know who I was. I let everybody tell me who I was. But once I figured out who Goddess was, you can't tell me shit no more. You ain't gonna even be able to try. But a biorhythm, they call this pseudoscience, by the way, because they don't understand it. They don't even know what's going on with the rest of our brain. So they're gonna try to label something pseudo. But biorhythms show how our physical, emotional, and intellectual energies move in rhythm. The theory of biorhythms holds we move in rhythmic undulations of change that begin at birth. Separate and coexisting cycles then influence our energies with a clockwork of change. We have a physical cycle of 23 days, an emotional cycle of 28 days, an electrical cycle of 33 days, and each cycle, halftime is high, halftime is low. And I look at this chart. I did my chart in. I did the calculator, put my information in, and it gave me this chart right here. It's not mine, but this is an example. You can know I not, and it was a little right, I'll say, because I know how my moods are sometimes, and I'll look on those days of the month besides my menstrual cycle. I look at those days of the month and see if that lines up to how I be feeling. I go look at my journal and see if that's how I was feeling. Was I low? Was I emotionally low? Was I upset? Was I usually irritated? Because we are influenced by the cosmos. As above, so below, as within, so without. What goes on up there affects us. The same way the moon affects the tides of the ocean. We're made up of mostly water, so we're affected as well. We were, and it matters what we were. They want to demonize astrology. But I heard someone say, and looked it up myself, on the first page of Genesis, it says, look to the stars. You know what I'm saying? So, and I also heard Mama T say, you could have been born under any other sign, under any other alignment, but you were born under the one you were born under. So that is important. You are important. Everything about you is important. It's significant. But you have to go within to find it. You aren't going to find it outside of yourself ever at all. Never. Never at all, never ever at all. It ain't never gonna be nowhere else. I'm gonna say it again. You ain't never gonna find it outside of nowhere else, never ever. It's in here. The kingdom of heaven is inside of you. And once you discover it, you'll be able to bring it out. Build the kingdom on the inside. We got to go to work 9 to 5 and to build somebody else's kingdom. We come home tired and shit. We can't even spend time with our own children. We can't even spend time with ourselves, let alone meditate. So we have to go within. Hold on, baby. They don't want us going within. They don't want us knowing who we are. Because you going to fucking fly. And so I did my crystals. So I'm going to keep doing it every year. I'm going to keep my vibrations high. Y'all get in on this. Because it's not going to hurt nothing. Don't let nobody tell you shit about you. From this point on, you hear what I'm saying? Don't let nobody tell you nothing about you. Oh, let me see. Let me show one more time. The physical, emotional, and intellectual. So physical high is for 11 and a half days that bring us greater energy and strength. And then when it's low, we should not take on new loads. So this is how you can gauge yourself. It's like, let's say somebody wants you to help them move, but you don't feel like it. You may be in your low physical cycle, and so rightfully so, you can say no. It's not your fault. It's not their fault. It's not good timing. It just ain't right. But you can't go against yourself to please anyone else, because you help them do that shit. You may hurt yourself. You may become unusually frustrated for no reason and lower your vibration. Your emotional cycle is the same way. When you're high, you have more enthusiasm in spirit. When you're low, you're more prone to realism, reservation, and reflection. So when those days when you want to be more prone to realism, reservation, and reflection, that's when you feel like being in your cocoon. When you want to chill, and so that's a good time to meditate and reflect. When you don't feel like fucking with people. But it's impossible to do these things. You got to go to work for 12 hours a day. When you're in your 11 and a half days, your low emotional cycle, you don't want to fool with nobody, but you ain't got no choice for those 11 and a half days but to go to work. So you may get into it with somebody. Your intellectual cycle, you may not be feeling like you want to learn. For 16 and a half days, you learn more, think more, and more attentive, prone to new ideas. So that's the time. It's time for you to work, do your content, write your ideas down, be creative. In those 16 and a half days when you are low, you're more inward as we digest, learn, and contemplate the past. That's the time, again, to reflect. It seems like you always need time to reflect. It seems like we should be living in a meditative state, or we do have to work. We should be able to rotate, work on and off to accommodate these cycles. They know about this type of shit. Imagine if you got to know thy own self. If you was able to work your job, work your life according to these type of cycles, you will be more efficient. I'm getting to know myself better. I'm getting to know my daughter better. I'm doing hers too. But just type in biorhythms, do your calculation chart. Get out here, add. You can do your intuition, your spiritual, your awareness, and aesthetic too as well. That's 4 extra ones you can do. You can display your chart for however many 2 months to say. But it's gonna be awesome. Let's just do this one. You got the date of birth. They got 1992 for the year, and date of birth for the calculator is today. It say click to find the max and min value. Let's see. We gonna find the maximum. And click calculate. You see what the chart got, and that's the chart. So these are the days right here. Is that the date? It say target date 2038. Hey, they went out too far. Click on men. Oh yeah, Lord, they put 2061. They are in the future. Let me do 2025. February. Let's see what kind of month somebody having was born in 1992. All right, look at the highs and the lows. Look at the days on the bottom of the on the x-axis here. 17, 18, 19. So this person, if this is the January 1st, 1992, they start the year off low. And people be trying to do like New Year's resolutions and stuff, and it may not be a good time because you're not able to receive. What's low? The spiritual is 12%, the physical good, the emotional is negative. So intellectual good, but emotional is negative 62. So it may not be a good time to do some of this shit you be trying to do at the beginning of the year. Do it according to your body, according to your calendar, not according to what other people say. But we have no choice and we have to work on. That's how you know it's a goddamn trick. We came to this earth to raise the vibration of the earth, and we can't do that by being in traffic an hour, 2 hours, being at work 8 hours, being back in traffic for 2 more hours. The day is gone. And then you wash, rinse, and repeat this shit. You not living. I know because I was there, man. I was a goddamn pharmacy technician in my last job before I exited out the Matrix 2020. When that shit popped off, I stopped being a pharmacy tech. I realized the company didn't care about me from what the dude was telling us to do concerning the PPE. I'm not going back up there. They got this shit going around. Just whatever. So I stopped going. I started living in my Jeep. I just bought that Jeep. It was a 2020 Jeep Compass. And I thought the universe got a sense of humor to give me a compass. That's what I got direction. I drove to California, living on the beach in my vehicle, living a life. Now I unplugged. I was able to take time for me, do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. And I was able to do that because I didn't have any children. I know everybody can't do that. I'm not encouraging everybody to do that. I didn't have any kids at the time. And I get disability from the Navy, so I had income. I also was doing gig work, DoorDash, waiter, Grubhub, Instacart, Shipt, anything you name it. So I was working for myself when I wanted to. I would work during the day or whatever I wanted to. Now I'll be on the beach smoking weed for the rest of the day, getting in tune with myself. I loved it. So I got pregnant. So I had to, be responsible parent for her, find me a dwelling place, which I have now, create a safe environment for her, which I'm doing, and we continue to do so forever. So I'm a single parent, and I'm part of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it is because of her, because she watches everything I do, repeats everything I say, mimics me. So in order for her to be the best person she's supposed to be, I have to be that. Because me just telling her not to do something or to do something is not going to cut it. She going to see what I do. She going to reflect what I do. So I got to be about it. And it's been an awesome journey. And it's never ending. The healing process is never ending, y'all. But the whole purpose was this live was talking about the sacred secretion. So do more research on them on your own. But the basis of it is you raising that Christos oil, and when there's a full moon in your sun sign, those 2.5 days is when you're meditating and centering yourself and balancing yourself, is when you're getting a special secretion. The oil, the cerebral spinal fluid, the milk and honey that constantly rotates throughout your body. Your spinal fluid is not just there to lubricate. What was the definition? I think I learned in biology was to lubricate the nerves or some shit. It's more than that. It's carrying life, and it's carrying perfection. It's carrying magic, y'all. So the 2.5 days when it's resting in your sacrum And when the moon is in your sun sign is when and you getting that specialness, that special secretion. So and it raises back up and washes over your pineal gland, that snake, that colostrum. And since the colostrum has all those nerves connected to it, what do you think it does? It sends out the secretion to the rest of the body. Give your body what it wants. Give your brain what it wants. Unlock that motherfucker. You gotta do it yourself. So I appreciate it, whoever was listening. This is my first live on IG giving this presentation. I've given it twice, maybe on YouTube. Check out my YouTube page. I have more content on there about sacred secretion. I have me on there with more lives performing using the force. Like I say, it didn't happen until after I did this. So shit, but check that out. I got links in the bio. I got merch. I want to have it coming soon. Have y'all have it on so y'all can see I got it. But check me out. If you're watching this, I came across you for a reason. If you stayed to the end, that means you must fuck with me. And I appreciate that. So I wish you peace. Where we at? Prosperity, love, and levity.